1. I am grateful for this new day. Gratitude, the foundation of happiness. Gratitude is a simple yet incredibly powerful practice. It is one of the fundamental teachings in Buddhism and in many other spiritual practices because it helps us align ourselves with the present moment and embrace what we have rather than what we lack. This simple affirmation, I am grateful for this new day, might seem small, but it carries profound significance. It is an acknowledgement of the new day's potential, of the gift of life, and the ability to start fresh every single morning. In today's world, we often wake up feeling stressed, rushed, or overwhelmed. We check our phones and dive right into emails, messages, or social media, already setting the tone for a busy and anxious day. However, what if, instead of starting your day with anxiety or worry, you could start it with gratitude? How much of a difference would that make in how you experience the world? The power of gratitude. Gratitude is an emotion that naturally brings positivity and joy into our lives. Studies have shown that regularly practicing gratitude can lead to improved mental health, better relationships, and even better physical health. When you start your day with a sense of gratitude, you're training your mind to focus on the positive, to be thankful for the little things, and to appreciate what you already have. This small shift in mindset can lead to monumental changes in your overall well-being. The Buddhist teachings often emphasize the importance of being present and appreciating the moment. In Buddhism, one of the key principles is mindfulness, which involves being aware of the present moment without judgment. When we practice gratitude, we are in essence being mindful of the good things in our lives, big or small. This allows us to shift our focus away from what we don't have or what is wrong, and instead brings our attention to what is right and what we have already been given. Cultivating gratitude in the morning. Imagine waking up each morning and the first thing you do is express gratitude. You don't immediately rush into your to-do list or stress about the day ahead. Instead, you pause for a moment and think about what you are thankful for. This practice sets the tone for the entire day. A simple practice is to say, I am grateful for this new day, as soon as you open your eyes. Take a few seconds to really feel the weight of those words. What are you grateful for today? It could be as simple as being alive, having a comfortable bed to sleep in, or having the opportunity to do meaningful work. Whatever it is, find something to be thankful for in the present moment. When you focus on gratitude in the morning, you are inviting positivity into your life. You're setting a powerful intention for the rest of your day. You're telling your mind, I choose to see the good in life. I choose to focus on what I have, not what I lack. This affirmation becomes a reminder that you can always find something to be thankful for, no matter the circumstances. The impact of gratitude on your mood. Gratitude has the ability to completely shift your mood. When we are grateful, our mind is no longer consumed with worry, fear, or stress. Instead, our heart fills with appreciation and contentment. When we practice gratitude regularly, we begin to retrain our brain to look for the positive in every situation, which naturally boosts our mood. Think about a time when you were feeling down or upset. It may have been because of a challenging situation or a negative experience. However, after a period of reflection, perhaps you realize that even in those moments of difficulty, there were still things to be grateful for. A caring friend who supported you, a lesson learned, or even the strength you discovered within yourself to persevere. By focusing on these moments of gratitude, you change your perspective, and in doing so, you can lift your spirits and approach challenges with greater resilience. Gratitude acts as an emotional reset. It helps us detach from negative emotions, even for a brief moment, and refocus on what is good in our lives. The more we practice it, the more naturally it becomes part of our mindset, and the more it positively impacts our mood and outlook on life. Gratitude and its role in reducing anxiety. Anxiety is one of the most common struggles many people face today. It's easy to become overwhelmed by thoughts about the future, concerns about what might go wrong, or a fear of uncertainty. However, gratitude is one of the most effective ways to combat anxiety. When we focus on what we are grateful for, we are grounded in the present moment. Anxiety often stems from our fear of the future or the what-ifs in life. However, by practicing gratitude, we allow ourselves to focus on the here and now. This shift in focus is incredibly calming. It reminds us that, at this very moment, we are safe and secure. There is no need to worry about what might happen tomorrow because we are fully present, appreciating the moment. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of birds chirping, or the comfort of a hot cup of tea, Gratitude anchors us in the present and helps us let go of anxious thoughts. In Buddhism, the concept of mindfulness is closely related to gratitude. Mindfulness teaches us to be fully present, observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment. When combined with gratitude, mindfulness allows us to fully embrace the present moment and appreciate all that we have right now, reducing the power of anxiety and fear. Gratitude and its role in relationships. One of the beautiful things about gratitude is that it not only impacts our individual well-being, but it also positively affects our relationships. When we express gratitude, we strengthen our connections with others. Whether it's thanking a loved one for their support, appreciating a colleague for their hard work, or even recognizing the kindness of a stranger, gratitude fosters a sense of connection and mutual respect. In relationships, it's easy to take things for granted. We may overlook the little things that others do for us, or we may assume that people will always be there for us. However, when we make an effort to express our gratitude, even for the smallest gestures, we show others that we truly appreciate them. This can create a ripple effect, leading to stronger, more positive relationships. In the context of Buddhism, loving-kindness, known as metta, is a practice of developing an attitude of goodwill and warmth toward all beings. This includes both ourselves and others. By expressing gratitude, we are practicing loving-kindness in action. We are acknowledging the goodness in our lives and the people who bring that goodness into our world. A daily practice. While gratitude can be a powerful tool in the morning, it's also a practice that can be applied throughout the day. Once you've set the tone for your day with a morning affirmation, try to carry that gratitude with you throughout your activities. When challenges arise, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? It might be the opportunity to learn from a difficult situation or the chance to grow through adversity. Gratitude turns challenges into lessons and obstacles into opportunities. As you cultivate gratitude in your daily life, you'll begin to see that it doesn't take much to shift your perspective. It's not about ignoring difficulties or pretending that life is always perfect. Instead, it's about finding the beauty and the lessons, even in the most challenging moments. Gratitude and its connection to contentment. One of the most profound gifts of practicing gratitude is the sense of contentment it brings. In Buddhism, contentment is seen as an essential aspect of happiness. We are often conditioned to seek more money, more success, more material possessions. However, true happiness doesn't come from external possessions, it comes from within. Gratitude helps us embrace the abundance that already exists in our lives, and in doing so, we naturally become more content. When we focus on what we have, rather than what we lack, we are reminded that we already have everything we need to be happy. Gratitude fosters a sense of fulfillment, and when we embrace that feeling, we naturally let go of the need for constant striving and acquiring. Conclusion. The simple affirmation, I am grateful for this new day, is far more than just a phrase. It's a powerful reminder that every day is a gift, a new opportunity to live, to learn, and to grow. By embracing gratitude as a daily practice, we open ourselves to greater happiness, peace, and fulfillment. It is a practice that can transform our mood, our mindset, and even our relationships. In doing so, we align ourselves with the present moment and invite more positivity and joy into our lives. Gratitude is the foundation of a happy, peaceful, and fulfilling life. By starting each day with gratitude, you set the tone for the day ahead. You remind yourself that life, in all its complexities, is a beautiful gift, and you are deeply thankful for it. Through gratitude, you can transform your life, one day at a time. 2. I accept the impermanence of life. Impermanence in Buddhism, a core teaching. Impermanence, or anicca in Pali, is one of the fundamental teachings of Buddhism. It is the understanding that all things in life are transient, constantly changing, and without any inherent permanence. From the rise and fall of emotions to the shifting of seasons, everything in the universe is in a constant state of flux. This powerful teaching helps us realize that nothing lasts forever, and that change is the only constant. When we accept this reality, we begin to live life more fully, without the burden of attachment or the fear of loss. In today's fast-paced world, we are often faced with the illusion that things should stay the same. We strive for stability, for comfort, and for things to remain predictable. However, the reality is that life is in a constant state of change, and learning to accept this impermanence is key to living a more peaceful and contented life. This affirmation, I accept the impermanence of life, reflects a deep understanding of this core Buddhist teaching. It invites us to let go of our attachments and embrace the ebb and flow of life. The nature of impermanence. In Buddhism, impermanence is considered one of the three marks of existence, alongside suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. These three marks are seen as the fundamental truths that underlie the human experience. Impermanence reminds us that everything we hold dear, whether it's our relationships, our possessions, or even our bodies, is subject to change. Nothing is permanent. This truth can be difficult to accept, as we often resist change and become attached to things that we desire to last forever. However, impermanence is not something to fear. It is a natural part of life, and when we understand and embrace it, we can experience true freedom. We learn to stop clinging to things that are fleeting, and instead, we can begin to live more fully in the present moment. Understanding that everything is temporary allows us to appreciate what we have right now, without taking it for granted. It also encourages us to approach life with an open mind and heart, ready to embrace whatever comes our way, knowing that it too will eventually pass. Letting go of attachments. One of the most profound aspects of accepting impermanence is learning to let go of attachments. Attachment is the root of much of our suffering. We become attached to people, possessions, and experiences, and when these things change or fade away, we feel loss, sadness, and anxiety. However, when we accept the impermanence of life, we understand that attachment only brings suffering because nothing lasts forever. By letting go of our attachment to things, we are freed from the anxiety of losing them. This is not to say that we should stop enjoying or appreciating the things in our lives. On the contrary, accepting impermanence allows us to appreciate them more deeply because we recognize that they are temporary. We savor each moment, knowing that it is a fleeting gift. This appreciation, free from attachment, leads to a more profound sense of peace and gratitude. Embracing change and transformation. Change is a natural part of life. We change, our relationships change, our circumstances change, and the world around us changes. When we resist change, we create unnecessary suffering. We cling to the past, wishing for things to stay the same, or we fear the future, anxious about the unknown. However, when we embrace the impermanence of life, we can flow with change rather than fighting against it. In Buddhism, the idea of transformation is central. Just as the seasons change and life cycles continue, we too are in a constant state of transformation. This transformation can be painful at times, especially when we face loss or hardship, but it is also an opportunity for growth. Every challenge we face, every moment of discomfort, is an opportunity to transform and become more resilient. When we accept impermanence, we allow ourselves to experience life's changes without fear or resistance. One of the core practices in Buddhism is mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in each moment. This practice allows us to experience change without becoming attached or reactive. Instead of worrying about the past or the future, mindfulness encourages us to be aware of the present, to observe the ever-changing nature of life without judgment. This helps us to accept the impermanence of life more fully, and to live with greater peace and freedom. The relationship between impermanence and suffering. In Buddhist teachings, suffering, dukkha, is inextricably linked to impermanence. Much of our suffering arises from our attachment to things that are transient. We resist change because we don't want to experience the pain of loss, but in doing so, we create more suffering for ourselves. The Buddha taught that suffering is an inherent part of life, but that by accepting impermanence, we can reduce the suffering caused by attachment. When we understand that all things are temporary, we no longer expect things to stay the same. We learn to embrace life as it is, with all its ups and downs. We understand that everything, both good and bad, will eventually pass. This awareness brings a deep sense of peace, because we no longer fear the inevitable changes that come with life. Instead, we can approach life with equanimity, a balanced and peaceful mind, regardless of external circumstances. This acceptance of impermanence allows us to cultivate a sense of detachment, not from the people and things we love, but from our clinging to them. We can enjoy life without becoming overly attached to any particular moment or outcome. This makes us more resilient in the face of life's inevitable challenges, and it allows us to experience greater peace and joy. Impermanence and fear. Fear is a natural human emotion, and one of the primary causes of fear is our resistance to change. We fear losing what we love, we fear the unknown, and we fear the inevitable end of things. However, When we accept the impermanence of life, we can let go of this fear. We understand that nothing lasts forever, and that change is not something to fear, but something to embrace. When we fully accept impermanence, we begin to see that fear is often a product of our attachment to the idea that things should stay the same. We fear the loss of loved ones, the loss of health, or the loss of success. However, when we embrace change, we learn to let go of this fear. We understand that loss is a natural part of life, and that it is not something to be feared. Rather, it is something to be accepted with grace. Fear also arises when we try to control the uncontrollable. We want to hold on to the things we love, but when we do so, we create anxiety. By accepting the impermanence of life, we free ourselves from this desire to control everything. We learn to flow with life's changes, knowing that we cannot control the outcome, but we can control how we respond. Living fully in the present moment. One of the most beautiful gifts of accepting impermanence is the ability to live fully in the present moment. When we stop clinging to the past and stop worrying about the future, we can fully embrace the here and now. We can appreciate the beauty of the present moment without being distracted by thoughts of what has been or what might come. In Buddhism, mindfulness meditation is a practice that encourages us to focus on the present moment. It helps us become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations, without attachment or judgment. Through mindfulness, we can learn to accept the impermanence of life and live with greater presence and clarity. By observing the ebb and flow of our thoughts and emotions, we can see that they too are impermanent. They come and go, and we can let them go without getting caught up in them. Living in the present moment also means appreciating life as it is, without trying to change or fix everything. We stop waiting for the perfect moment and instead make the most of the present one. We learn to appreciate the small things. The sound of birds singing, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the taste of our food, because we understand that these moments are fleeting. The freedom that comes from acceptance. Accepting the impermanence of life brings with it a profound sense of freedom. We no longer feel bound by our attachments or our fears of loss. Instead, we are free to live fully in each moment, embracing change and transformation without resistance. This freedom allows us to experience life more deeply, to connect with others more authentically, and to approach life's challenges with a calm and open heart. When we accept impermanence, we let go of the need for control. We stop trying to hold on to things that are fleeting, and instead, we learn to appreciate them for the gift they are. We also stop fearing the unknown and the inevitable changes that come with it. This freedom from fear allows us to live with greater peace, joy, and resilience. Conclusion. The teaching of impermanence is one of the most profound and liberating aspects of Buddhism. By accepting that all things are temporary, we free ourselves from the anxiety and suffering caused by attachment. We learn to embrace change, to let go of our fears, and to live fully in each moment. This acceptance of impermanence brings us peace, contentment, and resilience, allowing us to face life's challenges with an open heart and a clear mind. As you embrace the impermanence of life, remember that each moment is a gift, fleeting and precious. When you stop resisting change and learn to flow with it, you will experience true freedom. By accepting impermanence, you open yourself to a life of greater peace, joy, and transformation. 3. I cultivate compassion for myself and others. Understanding compassion, the heart of Buddhist practice. Compassion, or karuna in Pali and Sanskrit, is a central concept in Buddhist teachings. It is one of the key virtues that Buddhists strive to cultivate in their lives, both for themselves and for others. Compassion involves a deep awareness of the suffering of others and a desire to alleviate it. However, true compassion extends beyond simply helping others. It also means showing kindness, understanding, and patience toward oneself. In Buddhism, cultivating compassion is not only an act of kindness toward others, but it is also an essential practice for self-healing and spiritual growth. The affirmation, I cultivate compassion for myself and others, reflects the balanced and profound practice of compassion that extends to both the self and those around us. By focusing on this practice, we embrace the interconnectedness of all beings and work toward healing the wounds of both ourselves and others. Compassion leads to peace, harmony, and the ability to move through life with a sense of grace and understanding, no matter what challenges arise. The importance of self-compassion. Self-compassion is the ability to treat yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and patience that you would offer a close friend who is suffering. It is an essential practice for maintaining emotional well-being, especially in times of difficulty. In modern life, we often place high expectations on ourselves, striving to be perfect and accomplish more, all while being hard on ourselves when we fall short. This constant self-criticism can lead to stress, anxiety, and burnout. In Buddhism, self-compassion is seen as vital to our overall mental health and spiritual development. The Buddha himself taught that the path to enlightenment begins with cultivating compassion for oneself. This is because it is difficult to extend genuine compassion to others if we do not first learn to love and care for ourselves. Compassion toward oneself enables us to break free from the cycle of self-judgment and to begin the process of self-healing. By practicing self-compassion, we can reduce the impact of negative emotions, such as guilt, shame, and frustration, and replace them with a sense of kindness and acceptance toward ourselves. A common misconception is that self-compassion is self-indulgence or self-pity. In reality, it is about recognizing our imperfections and treating ourselves with the same care and understanding that we would offer others. It is a practice of nurturing ourselves, particularly in times of struggle or suffering. When we extend this level of care and understanding to ourselves, we are better equipped to show compassion to others. Compassion toward others, the compassionate heart. While self-compassion is crucial, compassion toward others is equally important. In Buddhism, it is said that we are all interconnected, and our suffering and joy are intertwined. By cultivating compassion for others, we develop a deeper sense of empathy and understanding. Compassion toward others allows us to see beyond their flaws, judgments, and mistakes, and to connect with their humanity. It is the recognition that every person, no matter their actions or circumstances, is worthy of love, care, and understanding. The Buddha's teachings often emphasize the importance of extending compassion to all living beings. This includes not only people we know but also those who may have hurt us or whom we may find difficult to understand. Compassion for others means recognizing that everyone is facing challenges, whether they are visible or not. It is an acknowledgement that we all carry burdens, and our suffering is often more similar than it is different. When we approach others with compassion, we seek to alleviate their suffering, whether through kind words, thoughtful actions, or simply being present for them. Compassion can be expressed in many ways: listening to someone without judgment, offering support, being kind in our words and deeds, and sharing our time and resources. Compassion creates an environment where people feel safe, seen, and heard, which can heal not only individuals but also communities. The interconnection of self-compassion and compassion toward others. The practice of cultivating compassion for oneself is not separate from the practice of cultivating compassion for others. In fact, the two are intimately connected. When we learn to show compassion to ourselves, we are better able to extend that same compassion to others. By nurturing our own well-being, we develop the emotional resources needed to help others in their times of need. Similarly, by showing compassion to others, we reinforce our own practice of kindness and care. One of the most powerful aspects of compassion is its ability to create a cycle of goodwill. When we show compassion to others, they often respond with compassion, creating a ripple effect that spreads throughout communities and beyond. This is why compassion is seen as a transformative force in Buddhism. It has the power to heal, unite, and create harmony in the world. When we cultivate both self-compassion and compassion for others, we create a balanced approach to life that emphasizes care, kindness, and understanding. Instead of being consumed by our own suffering or focusing only on the suffering of others, we learn to address both with equanimity and grace. This balanced approach allows us to move through life with a clear mind and an open heart. The role of mindfulness in cultivating compassion. Mindfulness, a core practice in Buddhism, plays a significant role in cultivating compassion. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, paying attention to our thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations without judgment. Through mindfulness, we become more aware of the suffering that exists within ourselves and others, and we can respond with compassion rather than indifference or reactivity. Mindfulness helps us recognize when we are being self-critical or when we are closed off to others. When we are mindful of our thoughts and actions, we can notice the moments when we are not being kind to ourselves or others, and we can adjust our behavior accordingly. Mindfulness is also key in developing empathy, as it allows us to be fully present with others and to listen to their experiences with an open heart. In practice, mindfulness and compassion go hand in hand. When we are mindful of our thoughts and feelings, we can respond to them with compassion. For example, when we experience feelings of anger, instead of reacting impulsively, mindfulness allows us to pause, reflect, and then respond with kindness. Similarly, when we see someone else suffering, mindfulness helps us tune into their experience and offer a compassionate response. Compassion in daily life. Practical applications. Cultivating compassion is not something that happens in isolation. It is a practice that we must integrate into our daily lives. It is easy to talk about compassion in theory, but putting it into practice requires consistent effort and mindfulness. Below are some practical ways to cultivate compassion for yourself and others every day. Practice self-kindness. Start by acknowledging your struggles and treating yourself with kindness. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a loved one in need of comfort. Avoid harsh self-criticism and instead, offer yourself encouragement and love. Listen without judgment. When others speak to you, offer them your full attention. Listen without judgment or interruption. This simple act of kindness can make a world of difference for someone who needs to feel heard. Engage in acts of service. Compassion can be expressed through actions, whether it's helping a friend in need or volunteering in your community. Offering your time, resources, or skills to others helps alleviate their suffering and fosters a sense of connection. Be patient with yourself and others. Compassion involves being patient. This means allowing yourself to grow at your own pace and understanding that mistakes are a part of the learning process. Extend the same patience to others, recognizing that they too are on their own journey. Practice loving-kindness meditation. In Buddhism, loving-kindness meditation, metabhavana, is a practice of sending love and compassion to yourself and others. You begin by directing loving-kindness toward yourself, then gradually extend it to loved ones, acquaintances, and even those with whom you have difficulty. Forgive yourself and others. Compassion also involves forgiveness. When we let go of grudges and resentment, we free ourselves from negative emotions and allow compassion to flow more freely. Practice forgiving yourself for past mistakes and offering forgiveness to others. The benefits of compassionate living. The practice of compassion has numerous benefits, both for ourselves and for the world around us.
Wen vi cultivate compassion, vi experience.
Improved emotional well-being. Compassion helps to reduce negative emotions such as anger, jealousy, and resentment. It promotes feelings of peace, joy, and contentment. Stronger relationships. Compassion fosters deeper connections with others. When we show kindness and understanding, we build trust and create an environment of mutual respect. Reduced stress and anxiety. Studies have shown that practicing compassion can reduce the body's stress response, helping to lower levels of anxiety and improve overall mental health. Greater resilience. Compassion helps us navigate the ups and downs of life with greater resilience. By acknowledging suffering and responding with kindness, we are better equipped to handle challenges with a clear mind and an open heart. A more peaceful world. As compassion grows in individuals, it has the potential to create a ripple effect that spreads to communities and beyond. Compassion leads to peace, harmony, and understanding in the world. I follow the path of wisdom. Understanding wisdom in Buddhism. In Buddhism, wisdom or prajna, Sanskrit, and panna Pali, is one of the most vital qualities that one is encouraged to cultivate. However, wisdom in the Buddhist context is not simply about acquiring knowledge or intellectual understanding. It is about cultivating a profound and transformative insight into the nature of reality itself. True wisdom in Buddhism involves seeing beyond the surface of things and understanding the interconnectedness of all things. It means knowing things as they truly are, without the distortions of ignorance or delusion. The Buddha often spoke about the importance of wisdom as a core element of the path to enlightenment. In the Noble Eightfold Path, wisdom is a foundational pillar, along with ethical conduct and mental discipline. It is through wisdom that a person can break free from suffering, dukkha, and attain a state of peace, liberation, and enlightenment, nirvana. Thus, the phrase, "I follow the path of wisdom," reflects a profound commitment to understanding life's deeper truths and living in alignment with them. The role of wisdom in understanding reality. In everyday life, we often perceive things in a limited or superficial manner. We see situations through the lens of our personal biases, past experiences, or societal conditioning. This kind of perception can lead to misunderstandings, confusion, and suffering. Wisdom, in the Buddhist sense, is the ability to see things as they truly are, free from the distortions of the ego, emotions, and attachments. One of the key aspects of Buddhist wisdom is the understanding of the three marks of existence: impermanence, anicca, suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. These three fundamental truths shape how we view the world and our place within it. Impermanence. Anicca, everything in life is in a constant state of change. Nothing is permanent, and everything arises and passes away. When we realize the impermanent nature of all things, we no longer become attached to them, and we can face life's ups and downs with equanimity. Suffering. Dukkha, life is inevitably accompanied by suffering. This suffering arises from our attachments, desires, and misunderstandings about the nature of reality. Wisdom helps us understand the causes of suffering and find the path to its cessation. Non-self. Anatta, there is no permanent, unchanging self. What we perceive as I or me is actually a collection of changing physical and mental elements. This understanding helps to reduce the grip of the ego and frees us from the illusions of self-centeredness and attachment. By understanding these three marks, wisdom helps us see beyond the superficial aspects of our lives and helps us navigate the complexities of existence with a clear mind and an open heart. Practical wisdom, decision-making, and right understanding. Wisdom in Buddhism is not just an abstract concept. It is deeply practical and directly applicable to our daily lives. One of the most profound ways that wisdom manifests is in the decisions we make. Buddhist wisdom helps us develop discernment and clarity in our choices, guiding us to make decisions that are not based on our impulses, desires, or delusions, but on a deeper understanding of what is truly beneficial in the long run. The Buddha spoke about right view and right intention, both of which are aspects of wisdom within the Eightfold Path. Right view is the understanding of reality as it truly is, including an understanding of the Four Noble Truths and the three marks of existence. Right intention involves aligning our intentions with wisdom, compassion, and non-harming. Together, these elements help guide us to make decisions that lead to peace, happiness, and liberation, rather than suffering. For example, when faced with a difficult decision, wisdom allows us to step back and examine the situation objectively, without being clouded by emotional reactions or desires. It helps us to recognize the impermanence of the situation, and to understand that our attachments or aversions may not lead to lasting happiness. Wisdom encourages us to choose actions that align with our values and that will contribute to the well-being of ourselves and others. Wisdom also teaches us to consider the long-term consequences of our actions, rather than focusing solely on short-term gains. In many situations, we may be tempted to make decisions based on immediate satisfaction, whether it's indulging in material pleasures, seeking approval from others, or avoiding discomfort. However, Buddhist wisdom encourages us to look beyond these fleeting desires and focus on the bigger picture. What actions will lead to lasting peace and happiness? The path to harmonious living through wisdom. Living in harmony with oneself and the world around us is one of the central goals of Buddhism. Wisdom is the key to achieving this harmony. When we follow the path of wisdom, we align ourselves with the natural order of the universe and the interconnectedness of all beings. This understanding helps us let go of the ego-driven desires and conflicts that cause suffering in our relationships and in our interactions with the world. One of the key aspects of wisdom in Buddhism is the cultivation of equanimity, a balanced and serene mind that remains unaffected by the fluctuating circumstances of life. Whether we face success or failure, joy or sorrow, wisdom helps us to maintain our inner calm and to respond to life's challenges with clarity and understanding. We no longer react impulsively or get caught up in the drama of life. Instead, we are able to act from a place of wisdom and mindfulness. The cultivation of wisdom also helps us develop better relationships with others. By understanding the impermanent and interdependent nature of life, we begin to let go of expectations and judgments. Wisdom teaches us to see others with compassion, recognizing that they too are subject to the same challenges and suffering that we are. This understanding fosters empathy and helps us relate to others with kindness and understanding. The role of meditation in cultivating wisdom. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating wisdom in Buddhism. Through meditation, we gain direct insight into the nature of our minds and the nature of reality. Mindfulness meditation, vipassana, is a particularly effective practice for developing wisdom. In this practice, we observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without attachment or aversion. We begin to see the impermanence of our mental and emotional states, and we gain a deeper understanding of the workings of our mind. Through the practice of mindfulness and meditation, we can develop insight, vipassana, into the true nature of existence. This insight helps us break free from the illusions that keep us trapped in suffering, and it allows us to cultivate a more profound understanding of the world and our place within it. The more we meditate, the clearer our understanding becomes, and the more we can live in alignment with wisdom. The interplay between wisdom and compassion. In Buddhism, wisdom and compassion are inseparable. Wisdom without compassion can lead to cold attachment, while compassion without wisdom can lead to misguided or ineffective actions. Together, they form a perfect balance that guides us toward liberation and enlightenment. Wisdom helps us understand the true nature of suffering, while compassion drives us to alleviate the suffering of others. Wisdom helps us see beyond our own narrow perspective and recognize the interconnectedness of all beings, while compassion motivates us to act with kindness and care toward others. By following the path of wisdom, we are not only able to help ourselves, but we are also empowered to help others in meaningful and transformative ways. Applying wisdom to everyday life. The application of wisdom in everyday life is not limited to spiritual practices or meditation. It is something that can be brought into every aspect of our lives, from the way we interact with others to the decisions we make in our personal and professional lives. Wisdom helps us navigate the complexities of modern life with clarity and, for instance, in our relationships, wisdom helps us avoid conflicts and misunderstandings by promoting clear communication, patience, and understanding. It helps us cultivate empathy and compassion for others, even when they may act in ways that are difficult to understand or accept. In our work, wisdom allows us to make decisions that are in line with our ethical values, and it encourages us to seek long-term fulfillment rather than short-term success. In our daily routine, wisdom helps us manage our emotions and reactions, allowing us to live with greater peace and balance. The long-term benefits of living with wisdom. The long-term benefits of living with wisdom are profound. By following the path of wisdom, we create a life that is characterized by peace, clarity, and contentment. Wisdom helps us break free from the cycles of suffering and delusion, and it allows us to live in a way that is harmonious with ourselves and the world around us. Living with wisdom also brings about greater mental and emotional stability. As we become more attuned to the nature of reality, we begin to let go of the need for control and the desire for things to be a certain way. We develop a deeper acceptance of life as it is, and we are better able to handle life's challenges with equanimity. Ultimately, the path of wisdom is the path to freedom. It frees us from the bonds of ignorance, attachment, and suffering, and it leads us toward a life of deeper understanding, compassion, and inner peace.